petting, we're getting some fun out of life when we want.
It's really just a compliment. It can't be a responsibility because I don't expect to represent Billie Holiday more than being a singer who learned from her, being a singer who sings her songs. But we have recordings, you know, we have video, we have stories and books, we have all kinds of movies that she was in. We have ways of, and the recordings speak for themselves. And so I don't feel like it's really a part of, doesn't really affect me what people say, you know. I think for a while, to be honest, I think for a while that the comparison to Billie Holiday was made bigger than it is for the purpose of publicity. And that was like, it's good to have something that you say, oh, I know who she is, you know. And so it became that with my first record, and it just sort of was a big deal then. But to me, nowadays, it's not really true. I don't think I sound like Billie Holiday as much.
Don Harrington on guitar.
Yeah, it's a mix for sure. I started, my understanding of music comes from a lot of early jazz, blues, and some folk, and pop music, of course. But you know, my singing came from learning the old blues and the very early jazz, which is like very much related to the blues. And so I feel like that's where I live. You know, I live in a world of the blues, really, for me. I like to think of it that way. And I think of Billie Holiday that way, and I think of a lot of my favorite singers that way. Singers that are informed by the blues. American music, of course, is what we're talking about.
A whole lot of fun, yes, out of life.
My music is not more special than anybody else's music if you're looking at it from, you know, like the bones and the skin and the material. It's not special because it was played in the street. But I think that my relationship to the audience maybe is very much affected. That there's a great awareness of when it's good, when you're playing on the street and it's good, when it's a great time, and it becomes something that you could never have planned, whereas in a concert you sort of think, oh, you need to create the illusion of the first time, but you can't be totally spontaneous. And all of those things are also happening. Of course, there's variables in any show, any performance, whether it's on the street or not. And so a lot of things are pretty much the same in theory. But I do have memories of the greatest moments that we had, the most fun that we had, and it just feels so benevolent and so complete. And it really is because you understand that the audience is part of the show. Because if they didn't come and stop and come around you, and if they didn't create this wall of acoustics, you know, just by being there and being warm and close, and if they didn't, I don't know, their bodies resonate with the sound, and their expressions on their faces, like, oh, or yeah, this is what I should be doing right now, you know, and and I'm here too, me too, me too, me too. And it just like, you know, it's so moving. When it's great, it's so great. It's so great. And it's worth much more than any money you can ever speak about, you know. Yes, absolutely. We are having so much fun together. It's hard to let go and say, oh, we should try other things, you know. Basically, I think musicians are well aware of this sort of, it's like a holy trinity. There's something very special about a trio when it comes to making music together, because it always feels like there's an extra bit of space around everything, which means that you're more naked or more bare, and because of that, you're also more free and more vulnerable and all these things at the same time. And so it means that there's a whole lot more interaction among the three of us, and that the music can go almost anywhere. It also feels very much like we can just do whatever, we could do any song we want to do. If we wanted to, we'll just do it. But for now, we're doing what we're doing.
And honey, I had something to tell you. I wanted you to know I'm sorry, ain't gonna let you worry my life no more.
That's a very interesting question, because what is musical maturity and when does it come? I think, you know, I know that the voice itself starts to mature around the late 30s, so I'm doing that, I'm there, I've done that, and I'm feeling that, and I want it to stay like that. It's a beautiful feeling when you've been singing a long time and then your voice changes just a little bit and you're like, what? Oh man, you know, life is easier when you get to 40, I think. But as far as emotional maturity, yeah, that's something that just keeps on changing throughout your life. It doesn't really matter. I was thinking today that Europe might be what gave me emotional maturity. I feel that the music that I sing is American and is really based in my earliest childhood, before I was a teenager in Paris on the street. And it informs all of this music. This is American music that I sing, it really is. And that being able to get away from it has given me a perspective on how beautiful and how important American music is, how culturally significant it really is to America, but also sometimes more to other countries, because other countries have maybe had more time to appreciate what culture is, and Americans don't necessarily understand how great some of the things that we have really are, culturally speaking.
Oh, you can't talk like that. You're so reactionary. Trump, I'm gonna hang up. And someday, baby, you're gonna have to give it up. Yes, but I wanted you to know, maybe they still love you so. But I'm sorry, ain't going to let you wear my